All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and great glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and salutations to the elect pushing his truth to the four corners of the earth in truth and sincerity. All right, in this particular video, I want to touch on what's happening right now in the Middle East. All right, this is the Israeli news. This was posted one day ago. As you can see on your screen, it says Israel at war. And that's right, Israel's at war with Iran's proxy groups, Hezbollah, Ashar Allah, Hamas, and the Houthis. As a matter of fact, the U.S. and Israel just did a massive strike on the Houthis. And Trump also is getting pulled, America's getting pulled in to this third world war, man. He's getting pulled in to war because he's coming in defense of Israel. Now he's saying he's going to bomb the hell out of Hamas if they don't release all the hostages. And he also said that if Iran keeps backing the Houthis and the Houthis strike them back, each time the Houthis strike, they're going to hold Iran accountable for it. Now, Iran is coming out and basically saying, so what? You could do what you got to do. And in so many words, they saying like, bust a move then. All right? So you see the least of the flock drawing them out. Who's the least of the flock? Amalek. Who's the them? Drawing them out. That's America out to what? War. All right? Because let's not forget, Russia is also involved with this because Russia and Iran are very close allies. You see? They are very close allies. They're not just like halfway buddies. No, they are very close allies. Even to the point where some years ago, when 2018, where they had that hearing, should they leave the arms embargo on Iran to stop them from having certain weapons, they were voted against, and so Iran's embargo was lifted up off of them. Arms embargo was lifted. The first one who started giving them all type of weaponry was Russia. They put sanctions on Iran, and Russia came out and said they're going to do everything possible to render those sanctions that just got put on Iran useless. So they've been doing things to guard Iran. Like the scripture says, it shall be a guard unto them. As a matter of fact, let's get that right now. This is Ezekiel 38. Let's start with 4. And we read, this is talking about Russia. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. Right, it's going to turn Russia back into that spirit of hating America. This is why he's being a guard to these little nations. They sent they sent Juan Guaido over there to take over Venezuela, to basically topple Nicolas Maduro and have Juan Guaido take his place. Now, we all knew that Juan Guaido was a CIA asset. He was trained in, what was it called? Oakport, Europe, by the CIA. So, you know what I mean? And they wanted to take the world's largest oil reserves over there for America. So Russia sent 2 nuclear capable bombers over there, and I believe even some troops got deployed over there. And on the news, they were saying this is a move straight out of the Cold War. Yeah, so they're getting back into that spirit of just straight up hating America, man. So when he says he's going to turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, let's read it. Ezekiel 38 and 4, and we read, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. He's talking about making Russia hate America again. And I will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, which is Iran, Persia changed its name to Iran in 1935. All right, and over there in the Middle East right now, they call them Persia. They call them the Persian people. Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them with shields and helmets. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Because you know these people won't come with allies. But thou prepared, it's like you be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So it's telling Russia they're going to be a guard unto these little nations, man. You see that? And I have something queued up right here. Salakia. Iran and Russia relationship. Iran and Russia are strategic allies and form an axis in the Caucasus alongside Armenia. Iran and Russia are also military allies. You see that? In the conflicts in Syria and Iraq, they're still military allies right now as well. Houthis are also getting supplied by Russia. And partners in Afghanistan and post-Soviet Central Asia. The Russian Federation is also the chief supplier of arms and weaponry to Iran. See, they're close. It says Libya and Ethiopia too, right? Let's see their relationship. Libya and Russian relations. Former Libyan leader Muammar al-Gaddafi was a close ally of the Soviet Union despite his country's membership in the non-aligned movement. Russia also regards Libya as one of its strongest allies in the Arab world and has supported stabilization of the country following the aftermath of the Libyan civil war. Russia and Ethiopian relations. Ethiopia and the Soviet Union established diplomatic relations on April 21st, 1943. Russia currently has an embassy in Addis Ababa, and Ethiopia has an embassy in Moscow. You see? Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shields and helmets. They're going to go to war against America, but we don't have Russia leading the charge, man. But we got Israel starting this thing off. Israel's drawing Iran, America, in to this war. All right, so we got prophecy jumping off of the page. All right, and we got Joel 3 and 10 jumping off of the page. You start at 9 and go to 10. You got the weak saying, "I am strong." They just telling America, just bust a move, man. Stop all the threatening. The threat's not working anymore. All right, so let's watch a little bit of that.
TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donation. Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. Israel aims to increasingly intensify its renewed offensive operation in the Gaza Strip until the Islamist Hamas releases the hostages. The Iranian proxy Ansar Allah, which is dominated by the Houthi tribe in Yemen, pledges to persist hostilities against the state of Israel. The United States reiterates that while it'd rather pursue a diplomatic solution, it will thwart Iran's quest for nuclear weapon capabilities, including by launching a war.
United States is saying they will launch a war to stop Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons. And Iran basically saying that we want them, we can have them. There ain't nothing that you can do about it. All right, and some even speculate that they already have nuclear weapons. So it's war. It's wartime. You see that? We living in some exciting times, man. And if they bomb if they bomb Iran's nuclear sites, which Russia told them not to do, you see how close Russia and Iran is. Hey, man, this all spelling out war. This all equaling war. All right, the allies are not going to stand back and let their allies get straight slaughtered by America and Israel. You see? But Iran ain't no slouch neither. They got hypersonic missiles. And if they become a nuclear power, man, Israel can be nuked ASAP, man. And before I play this, we all know that the mark of the beast has to be implemented on a massive scale before World War III really reaches that climax. So with that, hey, how close are we how close are we to the MOTB being mandatory if we see World War III actually this close? All right, and Salakia for me stumbling over my words. I'm a little excited. All right.
Israel will increasingly intensify its renewed offensive operations in the Gaza Strip until the Islamist Hamas releases the hostages. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz released a statement in which he highlighted Jerusalem's instruction to the IDF to begin seizing territories in the Gaza Strip while evacuating the population and to expand a security zone around Enclave in order to protect Israeli communities and IDF soldiers. Defense Minister Katz went on to underscore that Israel remains committed to the proposals relayed to the Palestinian terror group by the U.S. presidential envoy Steve Witkoff, while underscoring that so long as Hamas continued to refuse the proposals, the more territory it will lose to Israel. The Israeli defense minister concluded his statement by underscoring that Israel will intensify the fighting with strikes from the air, sea, and land, and by expanding the ground maneuver until the hostages are released and Hamas is defeated, while using all military and civilian means of pressure, including evacuating the Gaza population to the south and implementing U.S. President Donald Trump's voluntary transfer plan for the residents of Gaza. Meanwhile, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt stressed last night that the president made it very clear to Hamas that if they do not release all the hostages, there would be all hell to pay. Unfortunately, she noted, Hamas chose to play games in the media with lives. Leavitt continued by highlighting that President Trump fully supports Israel and the IDF and the actions that they have taken in recent days. Meanwhile, at the UN headquarters in New York, the world body's Security Council held a session, during the course of which the UN Assistant Secretary General for the Middle East, Khaled Hiyari, provided a briefing on the humanitarian conditions of Israeli hostages held by Hamas in the Gaza Strip.
The ceasefire and hostages release deal that took effect on 19 January offered a glimmer of hope and respite by reuniting 25 Israeli hostages with their loved ones.
We're going to skip this a little bit because they're going to talk about the hostages, and they got a hostage that is going to speak about how he was beat and tortured, and he's saying that I just want everybody to know Hamas eats big meals. They eat in front of you. It's funny, but I want to get to the point before I reach my destination. All right. Salakia.
They beat me. They broke my ribs.
To surrounding areas. Returning to the Middle East, where the Iranian proxy Ansar Allah, which is dominated by the Houthi tribe, launched yet again another ballistic missile in the direction of the State of Israel, prompting rocket alert sirens to sound throughout multiple locations, to include Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, as well as their surrounding areas. According to the IDF spokesperson's unit, the missile that was launched from Yemen was intercepted by the Israel Air Force prior to crossing into Israeli territory, causing no injuries or damage. Meanwhile, Houthi spokesman Yahya Sarih proclaimed that the Iranian-backed terror group would continue to launch attacks against Israel, irrespective of the ongoing military campaign by the United States against the Houthis in Yemen. Meanwhile, in Tehran, the Islamic Republic's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei responded to U.S. President Donald Trump's warning that unless Iran holds its support for the Houthis, it would pay the price.
Americans should know that they will never get anywhere with threats when dealing with Iran. Death, death to America. Death, death to England. Death, death to the hypocrites. Death, death to Israel. Those who threaten should know we have never initiated any conflicts or war with any country. But if someone acts with malice and begins one, they'll face hard slaps.
Hey, got the weak saying I'm strong, man. You see that? That's to America right there.
Following his bold and defiant remarks, Ayatollah Khamenei ironically sought to distance Iran from Houthi actions, irrespective of Western intelligence agencies proving to the contrary.
One of the big mistakes that American and European politicians make is that they label the resistance centers in the region as Iran's proxy forces.
That because they are. See, now he lying. He gonna say, what does proxy even mean? That's what he's gonna say. But they are supplied by Russia and Iran. They give them weaponry and intelligence and things of this nature. They do. So I was thinking, like, why would he sit up there and lie and say that? And then, this is neither here nor there. To me, he's acting like he's not fond of them because it's almost like you kind of want a conflict. You're going to act dumb and play dumb in order to justify what you're about to do. You see? You got these places, they sick and tired of America, man. They sick and tired of being bullied like that, man. So, hey, they looking for America's destruction. He's sitting up here straight lying. Saying, why you keep saying that they my proxy groups? Because you are supplying them. Where are they getting their weapons from? They getting them from Russia and you. It's known.
Insult them. What does proxy even mean? The people of Yemen have their own motivation. The resistance groups, the resistance centers, and the countries of the region have their own motivations. The Islam
and America is a hypocrite. Because it's saying, well, since you're giving the Houthis, in which they supply more than the Houthis, weaponry and things like this, they saying since Iran is doing that, then they're going to hold Iran accountable for all the strikes that's being taken, right? And at the same time, giving Ukraine all type of weapons and shit. All right, you got a proxy going against somebody right now. Well, it's a hypocrite.
Islamic Republic of Iran does not need proxy groups. What does proxy mean? They make their own decisions.
The Ayatollah regime's supreme leader went on to pledge to...
He's probably trying to play with the words like, hey, they got their own motivations. We just give them the weapons. So, they do what they want with them after we give them to them. So I guess he's trying to play like that. But, nah, this is one of them things like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. You funding them because they want to destroy Israel. All right? You just saw the Houthi leader says they're going to continue attacks because of what the U.S. and Israel is doing to them right now. And don't forget, the Houthis destroyed 3 U.S. warships. Where are they getting the missiles and things like this from? Sophisticated weaponry. They're getting it from Iran and Russia.
To his followers that ultimately the Iran-led Axis would prevail despite successive defeats in Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, and expectedly soon in Yemen and Iraq as well.
Have no doubt, this resistance will lead to the defeat of the enemies, the defeat of the vile, corrupt, and depraved Zionist regime.
It is worth noting that following President Trump's statement demanding Iran end its support for the Houthis, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio stressed in a phone conversation with the Hugh Levitt show that Iran is going to be held responsible for any assistance they continue to provide to the Houthis.
The president's been clear. Iran is going to be held responsible for any assistance they continue to provide the Houthis. The president had a post earlier this morning where he outlined that Iran is still helping the Houthis, maybe not as openly, maybe not as much as they were in the past, but they're openly helping them.
Washington's top diplomat continued by addressing Iran's nuclear program, which is rapidly approaching levels of weaponization.
He's prepared to do whatever it takes to prevent Iran from ever having a nuclear weapon. He's been abundantly clear. Now, he's a president that wants to promote peace. If you asked him, he would tell you he would much prefer to work this out diplomatically without a war. And that's his preference. That will always be his preference. But if you force him to choose between a nuclear Iran or taking action, the president's been clear he will take action.
So this is a roundabout way of saying that they're going to go to war with Iran very soon, because Iran is still going to continue with its nuclear program. All right, they're saying that the nuclear program is peaceful, and they don't want the world in their business on what they're doing. And if they want nuclear weapons, they believe that's their business, and they can do that, right? So hey, we about to see war very, very soon.
Secretary Rubio went on to warn that if the Islamic Republic continues to reject diplomacy, an American attack against Iran will not limit its strikes against its nuclear infrastructure, but it would also target the Ayatollah regime proper. Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. TV7 Israel is a non-profit ministry with all of our production.
All right, well, I hope it was edifying. Hope you could take something from it. And with that, I'm to Shalom.